Hey yo, J-Dub from last Tuesday. What's the weather like out there?
Here's tonight's weather report. The weather report says it's fucking storming, man!
You heard the man. Batten down the hatches and bang your head to the opening riff. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy J-Dub and welcome to episode 46 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. And I got your boy has another epic fucking episode for ya. It's not quite as big movie-wise, quantity-wise as last week, but it's pretty damn close, as I stated at the end of last week's mountainous episode production that was. Jeez almighty. That took a lot of elbow grease to fucking film and edit and put that one together and upload and broadcast. But efforts aside, neither here nor there. Maybe I'll do like a making of episode of some shit like later on down the line. Like all that goes into like the weekly goings into like the making of an episode of the fucking Real Rush or whatnot. But this week ain't as big as last week. But at the end of last week's episode, at the end of episode 45, I did mention that we got 7 new movies on this week's Real Rush ticket to review for y'all, and that's exactly what I got. But it's not only that. I mean, we went from, as you could just see in the the little bit of the meteorological forecast from last Tuesday that we've been doing. We started on preps for episode 46 Tuesday, just a day and a couple of hours after, so 24 plus hours after dropping episode 45 and the mountainous production that shit was. So this is episode 46. We've been doing this from last Tuesday until last night. There was a Bandit show in between there on Friday. That went fucking epic too. Since we got to ask, because it's already said this is an epic episode and that joint went epic. But yes, this has been epic. It's been a fucking long ass weekend. Your boy had to limp his ass into the fucking Angelica yesterday for a triple threat. I look pretty happy, right? Alright, so we all good. Plus, if I'm a little hurt after Friday night's Bandit show, that's okay. That's another reason that I equate improv to wrestling. Like, hey, if you're not a little banged up after the fucking next day, you don't know if you were in a fight or not, then you didn't do it right or something. I'm not sure if that's an actual quote or not, but hey, that's just my philosophy, and I feel good because I know that we rocked on a hell of a show and the fucking audience loved it. And Real Rush golf clap of the week. So far, we ain't even gotten to the ticket yet. But, including, speaking of ticket, not the first movie that we're going to start off with, but as a matter of fact, we're gonna say that little nugget for when we get to that movie there. So, let's go ahead and get on down to brass tacks. This week's episode 46, Real Rush ticket. Let's kick things off with so many movies. Again, it's hard to pick what to kick things off with. But I think we're just gonna go ahead and kick things off with the new Seth Rogen written, produced comedy, Good Boys. This is about 3 tween-age boys who have been invited to the popular kids' party. It's gonna be a kissing party. Ooh, it might even be some little drinking or whatnot going on there or whatnot. You know how it used to be back in the day. Gotta be quiet because mom and dad are upstairs. Like we're eating pizza, but we're really taking sips of whatever or whatnot. Does that still happen? I don't know, but I'm not ratting anybody out. But hey, we turned out alright. Anywho, so they get invited. They don't know how to kiss. On top of that shit, one of the kids' drones gets broken. They must trade it for drugs that they had taken from two teenage chicks. So they're being pursued by the teenage chicks all the while, trying to make it to this party unscathed and trying to learn how to cast and how to mac and how to be popular and how to be cool amongst the cooler kids and all that, right? So it's kind of like American Pie meets Superbad with a little bit of like Stand By Me-ish element, a little bit earlier in age than that, if that makes any sense. All in all, how is Good Boys? It's funny as shit. I saw it just before Friday night's Bandit show. Prep myself, get them laughs in. I was kind of afraid that just from the trailer being so funny and just being so out there and being so Roganish, I was kind of, not necessarily afraid, but I was kind of concerned that the movie itself was gonna over-rely on the profane humor or the dirty jokes or what have you too much like I thought Sausage Party did. I was not a big fan of Sausage Party. Long story, well, different review for maybe a later date. But this was the complete opposite. And not only is the humor good, but the fucking message, there is a message in it too. It also has, since it is a Rogan-esque, it is a Rogan comedy, it's got a little bit of a old school 80s preteen comedy feel to it. So yeah, a lot of people were wondering about this one. It is off the chain. It's only like 89 minutes long. There's so many jokes just packed into it that it's hard to recall them all. So it's a hard movie to spoil, therefore. Not all of the, but how do you say this? Not all of the funny parts from the trailer, like basically everything that you see from the trailer is not just what's funny in the movie. Some of what you see in the trailer isn't even in the movie. So, yeah. At some point, I do see this when it does come out on 4K Blu-ray in a couple months, or the way things go these days in a couple weeks, that there will be some type of probably unrated version to come out with this. But take it for as it is right now. Good Boys is fucking awesome. Go check it out. Don't bring the kids to this one. As a matter of fact, there was a dude who brought his boys to the 3 o'clock show on Friday afternoon. School's still out in this area. And I suppose, if you got adult supervision and if that's already what he's letting his kids watch at home, more power to him. Good for him. Why not? Because I grew up on the rated R movies. You don't see me out there doing a whole bunch of crazy shit because I knew to read the ways from right and wrong and whatnot. Even though I grew up watching the shit, so they were an influence on me, but boom. So yeah, under the right circumstances. But that's a different topic for a different situation. Maybe I'll start my own like Real Rush panel show that'll come out on Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock, on fucking PBS or some shit. And we'll just talk about certain issues that are not usually discussed about in the entertainment industry. For right now, Good Boys, go check it out. Have yourself a blast with that joint. And next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, we're going to chum along. Chum along, chum along. Chum along, chum along. Let's go ahead and go back to this past Tuesday. And what did we brave the fucking near hurricane to go check out on Tuesday? It wasn't like that when we went into the theater on Tuesday. It wasn't supposed to be like that when we came out. It wasn't like that when we came out. It was about like that about 5-10 minutes after we came out. Smoked a cigarette and then boom. After we had just enjoyed the hell out of the Angry Birds movie 2. I had the presence of mind to remember to come back to mention this because I forgot to somehow mention this. The Angry Birds movie 2 is our 500th, 500th ultimate entry in the Real Rush since we started it January 2017, that means that we have seen 500 movies, 500 features, all in the theater, all by these two eyes. No repeats, no movies that I've seen previously before. All never before seen by these eyes in theaters. 500, and Angry Birds Movie 2 was number 500. Now, jam it on back to the actual episode. At the beginning, by the time that I had published episode 45 last week, I hadn't even seen the Angry Birds Movie 1 yet. But I rectified that situation last Monday. Even rented the 4K version, and I loved it. It's some out there humor, a little bit of dark humor, definitely some adult humor in it too. And this one is no different. This one, if you have followed the premise of the first one, so this ain't giving too terribly much away. Can you go into it having not seen the first one? Yeah, I suppose. It's not like too engrossed like a damn Marvel MCU movie or anything, yet I digress. But this follows, Red and Bomb and the little yellow one and the rest of the Angry Birds, and now that they actually have to band together with the Green Pigs led by Leonard and shit from Pig Island. They have to band together because there's this crazy bitch cockatoo whatever bird over on Eagle Island or whatever, and she's launching like ice balls and shit. She's going to take over the land, take them all out, or maybe enslave them all. Who knows? Who knows what this chick is up to? But it's up to them to band together and become like the poster says. I'm not sure which version of the poster we got up right now, but as opposed to one of the versions says, frenemies. That's what the fucking pigs and the birds must band together to do to save the islands from the ice threat. Nothing too, deep or detailed. It is still for the kids, but much like the first one, there is some dark humor and something that is in there for the adults in it. So everybody, I feel, will enjoy this movie. That makes it another all-around, damn near perfect family movie. Perfect all-around family movie. That's going to be something that would possibly be nominated for like Best Animated Feature or Best Picture even. But this right here, will it make it that far? And that remains to be seen. Your average moviegoer, I think, I heavily enjoyed it. Thinking that the first one, I didn't even want to see the first one up until recently because I just felt that, why capitalize on a game that just came out a couple years ago and all the product placement, and that's not a good idea to shove that in kids' faces. But they did a really good job of not, taking on the, here's, buy more of our shit type of placement there. Not like that one movie, the fucking Emoji Movie. No, not as bad as that. That made our bottom whatever of a couple years ago. But the Angry Birds Movie 2 has a nice cast. You got returning Jason Sudeikis, you got Bill Hader, you got Danny McBride and Josh Gad, and new to the cast you got Leslie Jones, and Tiffany Haddish is even up in the joint, and a whole bunch of just a deep ass cast, and hell yeah. Comparing it to the original, I mean, they're both good. They're both good in their own right. Take the kids, round up the fam. Don't take them go see Good Boys. Take them go see the Angry Birds 2. I think everybody will enjoy it and have yourselves a good old time. Yes, Angry Birds 2, playing everywhere, just like Good Boys. Don't get the movie theaters mixed up. Okay? Okay. Alright. Good job. Talk later, champ. Next up on this episode is Real Rush Ticket. Let's go with... Let's go with the next, I wouldn't necessarily call it a Britpop movie, but the next British musical of sorts. Blinded by the Light. This movie is actually inspired by a true story of a man who grew up, by a Pakistani man, grew up in the suburbs of London back in the mid-80s, you know, and shit. And that's when the racial divide was going on at the time. And this is portrayed pretty effectively and quite strikingly in the movie. But he was moved to make his way not only out of his town, but follow his dreams of becoming a writer and a journalist after listening and being inspired by the words of the boss, none other, Mr. Bruce Springsteen. This movie is off the chain. The only problem that I had with this movie were there were a couple of musical numbers that just seemed to come out of nowhere. I mean, you get why they're there, but just like, boom. But other than that, very inspirational. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was almost a packed house yesterday when we saw this one over at the Angelica as we kicked off Saturday Night Angelica Triple Threat, and the audience enjoyed it as well. The performances were very well done. Yeah, and it's a great story about like family bonds. And if I don't know exactly how to explain it. There's an actual term for this, but I don't know exactly. Like the way that, if you've seen the trailer for Blinded by the Light, like when he's standing up against the wall and the lyrics of Bruce Springsteen are like going up the brick wall and whatnot behind him. Like when every once in a while, like certain songs, when I listen to music, I can visualize them not only sometimes as like the word videos that you see, but actually just kind of like visualize like, yeah, the song itself, or maybe like a situation that might be associated with the song, or maybe even like a creation of a movie scene that I could, you know, have that song applicable to someday in a future movie that I might pen, you know? You feel where I'm coming? You smell what the dub is cooking on that? So it's just the way that is portrayed on screen in this movie. That essence, if you smell what I'm cooking, is captured quite perfectly. So this is for most certainly your music enthusiasts. Of course, if you're a fan of if you're a fan of the boss, who isn't a fan of the boss? 80s culture does depict the 80s culture quite nicely. Even though I wasn't around in London, I was, you know, growing up around here, you know, DC metropolitan area in the 80s, which was fucking quite scary. That's also a different topic for maybe the panel show someday. But Blinded by the Light. We've had quite a number of musical-based movies start popping up ever since the popularity of La La Land just a few short years ago. My favorite, still my pick for Best Picture of 2017, 16. Yeah, I digress. But Blinded by the Light, following in good footsteps and continuing those good footsteps. It is a good movie to be seen. A little bit more serious than the trailer leads it on to be, so it's definitely more on the dramatic side than it is on the comedic side. Therefore, it is a straight up dramedy, but a good dramedy nevertheless. Great performances all around, and of course you're going to have an awesome soundtrack, just time of the era. So yeah, Blinded by the Light, you will thoroughly enjoy this movie, and this might actually, I would say this is a good family movie if you got like the tween to young adult ones going on, and after dinner, and you want to go catch a movie. Yeah, this is a good movie too, because it is about ultimately family. So yeah, Blinded by the Light, go check it out. It's playing everywhere, I do believe. And next up on this episode's Real Rush Tickets, we gonna go. Alright, so what? Shark Week was on Sci-Fi. What was that, like a week or 2 or 3 or something ago? And now you got that Ian Ziering movie coming out, the Zombie Wave movie. Okay? I mean, that's cool. That's cool and all. That's cool. That's cool. But as far as like the big blockbuster disaster, like shark movies go, we got some new one on the horizon, and that joint is called 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. Dun 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 dun, they're out the cage. What's gonna happen? They're in the water. Oh shit, and my air is low. And oh, more shit, there's sharks below. What are we gonna do? They're gonna get eaten. Dun 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 dun. 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 They're gonna get eaten. All of them? Some of them? None of them? Maybe. But this is a sequel to the surprise hit from just 2 years ago, which we saw during season 1 of The Real Rush. The first official season of The Real Rush, so 2 years or a year and a half prior to when we premiered on YouTube. But you have to check out our Instagram feed, and we'll give you the information for that at the end of our episode, as we usually do. But surprise hit from two summers ago, 47 Meters Down. Now this one actually follows a group of teenage girls who go off their own way, you know, to have fun in the middle of the Mexican forest. And they got some scuba gear because one of their dads is a construction worker that's got to work underwater and whatnot. So he's got like this high-tech scuba gear and whatnot, like really nice shit. And one of them was all like, "I know of some underwater caves that we can go check out, yo. Let's go do that." You know, forgetting the fact that, you know, the oxygen tanks and shit have been sat there for like a reason. So it's not like, you know, there's a pump nearby, like, oh, well, you know, next time we go to use it, oh shit, somebody must have used these, we'll just pump these up right here. No, that would happen, but, hey. Suspend reality. That's why it's entertainment. So anyhow, we go deep diving, and of course, they run into the fucking sharks, man. But these aren't just regular sharks, and I'm not gonna spoil that part for you. Like I said, this is in no way, I mean, it's like the original 47 Meters Down, but it is such a different movie. Like, if it's almost like 47 Meters Down isn't necessarily like a franchise, as more if it's becoming, if they do end up continuing this, it'd be more of like an anthology if they can continue the story development in that sense. So you got some familiar faces in this one. You got John Corbett, Nia Long shows up in it. Sistine Stallone, I'm not sure if that's Sylvester Stallone's like daughter or granddaughter or great-granddaughter or whatever. But Corinne Fox, Jamie Foxx's daughter's up in there. And yeah, and it's pretty good. Pretty on par with the first. You're better than your average shark movie. This is gonna be way better than any of that shit that you see on the Sci-Fi Network that is included with your cable bill, y'all. 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. And the cool part about this is, not only is it a well done sequel, but it's well done to the point where it does great as a standalone sequel. It does great as a standalone film. You don't have to have seen the first 47 Meters Down to want or need to see 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. So, if you haven't seen the first 47 Meters Down, I think that after you see 47 Meters Down, and if you take a breather after seeing this one, because it is pretty terrifying at moments. It's a good scare. It's a good underwater shark movie. I can't swim, and I at points to get claustrophobic. That's two things that don't fit well if you're under fucking water. And I'm damn sure scared of sharks. I don't know if I'd actually be scared if I saw one up close, but I'm not going to go out into the water to test those waters anytime ever. So, I got those three things going for me right there. it's all deep and dark and whatnot. So yeah, it wouldn't be a good time for J-Dub. So they captured the director Johannes Roberts does a really good job of this. He also did last year's sequel to The Strangers. Yeah, the man. And he's always got like a 80s homage somewhere in his movies. I like that too. So he knows what the hell he's doing. 47 meters down, Uncaged, and the performances, they don't need to be like off the scale. Like it's a B movie, but it's better than a B movie. I mean, this is on par with like some Deep Blue Sea shit. 20 years that we're celebrating the 20-year anniversary of this year. So to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of this one, I went and saw this very one up at Hoyt's on Thursday night as part of a double feature. Of course, I saw it up at Hoyt's. It's not called Hoyt's anymore, but hashtag I still call it Hoyt's, even though it is Regal Bananas 14. So yeah, 47 meters down, Uncaged. Check that shit out. Get your scare on. One of the better ones of the summer. And yeah, we needed a good summer shark blockbuster. Will this? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this does at the in the box office records. The theater on Thursday night was not a good indicator, but then again, for these kind of movies, it usually isn't. So go check it out for yourselves. Don't tell him J-Dub sent you. Just listen to J-Dub and go see 47 meters down. It won't let you down. Same as last week. None of the movies that we saw this week, none of them are a miss by any means. So 47 meters down. Okay, go check that shit out. How we doing on time there? Rodney? Wake up, Rodney. Alright. How we doing on time then? Okay. So, what we should do right now is, we do have on standby, since J-Dub, myself, got a little excited during the weather forecasting a couple nights ago. Let's go to our new weather forecaster, or new meteorological, technological scientist, Nigel MacGillicutty. And Nigel, what's the weather like looking like out there right now, buddy?
Alright, now that it's good and calmed down a little bit, now you can actually see exactly what the hell I was trying to look at about 10-15 minutes ago when I originally had the camera on. Now you can actually see where we are. We're at Cinemark up in Centerville. You can actually see across the street and shit. You can actually see the fucking gas pumps over there and shit. You couldn't see those a couple minutes ago, mate. And that sign over there, a little bit fucked up. It's still fucked up. I'm just hoping that it doesn't blow up and come hit me car. And yeah, this has been your weather report from your British meteorologist, Mr. Nigel MacGillicutty. Back to you, J-Dub.
Alrighty, and thanks to you, Nigel, and drive safely out there, man. Wow, that kind of looked like a pretty similar scene to what was going on Tuesday night there. And I think you said it. Well, did we get that? That's obviously not live. No, we don't afford live. We can't afford the live. We can afford it, right, Rodney? Right, but it's not it's our production value. It goes into different things. So the live shit, we don't fuck around with that. Because why you need to know the weather is what's going on right now. Because by the time you see this shit, that weather gonna be long gone. Anywho, next up on this episode's Real Rush, check it. Where did she go? Bernadette? Where did that bitch go? The new Richard Linklater movie, based off of the novel by Maria Semple, Where'd You Go, Bernadette? This stars Kate Blanchett as Bernadette. And she's suffering from anxiety, middle age. I guess you could call it somewhat of a midlife crisis. She used to be a very successful architect. And she started putting all of her energy towards her family, which is not a bad thing. But that meant that the dreams that she once followed, well, those just kind of took a back burner and started taking further of a back burner, of a back burner, of a back burner, of a back burner. And that ultimately, caused a breakdown. And that caused her, to be resentful towards, like, others and such. Well, then, one day, Bernadette just up and jumps out the window. Bye-bye. Off she goes. Where she goes, nobody knows. And this is kind of a movie, much like Blinded for the Light, which I don't believe I mentioned in the review. This is kind of, ooh, shit. Almost fucked up the Rushtron right there, y'all. See, that would not have fit in our production value right there. Because fucking up the Rushtron. Well, now we got that shit on insurance. We got that shit on insurance. So fuck it. No, actually, no. We ain't gonna be fucking up no Rushtron. We don't break shit on this show. We not destructive. What was I saying about Bernadette? Anywho. So, this movie is kind of like For the Dreamers. First off, it's not quite as... It's lighthearted, but it's got some more darker elements that are more prevalent in the movie itself than the trailer insists that it be. So keep that in mind. But who hasn't just been on their way to work one day and they're not really doing what they want to do in life? Let's just be real on this shit. They're on their way to work one day, and as they're driving in, these couple questions cross their mind. What if I just kept on driving? What if I just kept on, I don't know, either driving out west or drove to an airport, got a plane ticket and got the fuck out of here. Wherever here is, to go wherever the fuck there is. What if I just wanted to go out and chase life? Some passion that you never got to live out in your younger years, or whatever it may be. This is what that movie is all about, y'all. I haven't read the novel myself, but I heard it is pretty good, and a lot of people are pretty anxious to know how it is in between the novel and the movie. And to be all honest with you, because of the fact that I haven't read a novel in quite some time, I cannot honestly tell you this. But I appreciated it. It's definitely told in a... Richard Linklater has a certain feel to his movies. So it's almost it almost had kind of like a Wes Anderson feel to it, just a little bit. And when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But Where'd You Go, Bernadette? This one's a good one for I wouldn't say necessarily family friendly, but young adult and up. Check it out. Once again, for the dreamers. And if you ever at a point in life where there isn't a term for your type of whatever life crisis, quarter life crisis, midlife crisis, late life crisis, early life crisis, whatever. If you just have a life crisis, you can relate to this. Everybody's had a life crisis at some point. It's a life crisis. That's what they're called, life crisis. You don't just have one. If you had one all at once, jeez, that would fucking suck. You gotta build that shit up as time goes on. Build your metal to that shit. So yeah. Where'd You Go, Bernadette? Very good. I say check it out. The average moviegoer, however, I feel it might find it a bit too quirky for their taste. So if you kind of had that feel about it from the preview, you may want to I mean, if you want to give it a chance, go for it. Just don't blame me later. He said, well, Jada told me to go to the theater, so I demand that he pay my fucking ticket. No, that's not the way it operates. No. If it's not feeling right, if the quirkiness of it is not feeling right from the trailer for you to go see it in the theater, then don't go see it in the theater. You can wait for it on Netflix. I'm not going to be upset about that if you want to wait for a streaming option. But if quirkiness is just part of your game, as it is part of mine, yes, I'd say go ahead and go check it out in the theater. And if you've read the book and want to go see how it compares to it, by all means, go check it out. So boom, there's your shit for Where'd You Go, Bernadette. That didn't quite rhyme, but we'll do that another time. But moving right along, we'll finish up the song because we ain't got no popsicle to lick it. So next up on the Real Rush ticket, I don't know what the hell rhymes with Falcon. So we'll just balcony or Balki almost. Bartokomous. Balki Bartokomous. Balki Balki Balki. I forgot about sometimes the world looks perfect, nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change. No matter where the odds are this time, nothing's gonna stand in my way. Pain in my heart, a long lost friend. Is every dark street a light at the end? Standing tall on the wings of my dreams, rise and fall on the wings of my dreams. Rain and thunder, wind and haze, I'm down for better days. My life, my dream, nothing's gonna stop me now. And that's the part where fucking Balki and Larry walk up from the Chicago subway and they got the tuxes on and shit, because they gonna go see themselves a show, y'all. Perfect Strangers. That's some original TGIF shit for y'all right there. Anywho, I don't know. Oh yeah, because Balki kind of rhymes with Falcon. So anywho, next up on the Real Rush ticket, if you haven't told by now, because we talked about Falcon, is... Oh, actually, no, that's not next up on the Real Rush ticket. Wow. Talk about... Wow. Jesus. Okay, J-Dub. But we had a good time, didn't we? This has been recorded in front of a live studio audience. Next up on this episode's Real Rush ticket is what we saw in yesterday's Saturday Night Angelica main event, triple threat main event. After the wedding. Some hidden agendas afoot in this shit. This one's starring Julianne Moore, Michelle Williams, Billy Crudup, Croutons, whatever. Sorry, sir, if I fucked up your name. He looks like not a dude to like sleep on. Like, he looks like somebody who's like, yeah, I could take him in a fight, but I bet you that dude knows how to fight. So I want to be on his good side. So Mr. Crudup, Billy, I am sorry. I got your back, brother. Anywho, so After the Wedding is the remake of a film by Suzanne Bier from a couple of years back. And, excuse me, this follows. So, you have Michelle Williams, right? Her character's named Isabel. And she's like a humanitarian. She's an American woman living over in India, you know, teaching the kids who are growing up in poverty and whatnot, you know, make sure that they have like a great place to, you know, go to school and clean water and clean food and clean, you know, living conditions, you know, just doing good work over there. So finding out that the funding ain't coming through, she's requested to meet with the head of the company that is responsible for funding the project. So in comes Teresa, played by Julianne Moore, who is the head of the company. And in a conversation, Teresa ends up inviting Isabel to Teresa's daughter's wedding that weekend. She's like, yeah, just come on out, you know. We'll get to know each other and whatnot. We'll have a good time. And then we'll talk more business on Monday or whatnot. I don't know why I gave her an old Jewish lady accent there, but that's kind of what it did there. And anywho, before I get eclectic, son, Isabel shows up to the wedding. She sees Teresa, but she also sees Oscar, a man from Isabel's past. The plot thickens. Now, how has this union, is it holy or not, we don't know. How has this union been brought together during the wedding, before we even get to after the wedding, right? How has this union been brought together? Has this been part of Isabel's plan the whole time to work herself way back into this man's life? Did this man have something to do with it? Did Teresa fucking have? What's going on here? Yeah. Great movie, y'all. Great movie. Not just like the trailer. If you've seen it. If you haven't seen the trailer, check out the trailer. If you've seen the original, I didn't even know that there was an original until I went to go look up this one on Wikipedia for my hashtag Instagram purposes. But check it out, and much like the trailer, all is not what it seems. And all is not even what it seems from what the trailer portrays it out to be. Hands down, slam, knockout, slam bang performances all the way on, all around by Moore, Crudup, and Williams. If I met Michelle Williams, she wouldn't even have to change her last name. We'll put that on the list. But yeah, after the wedding. Great, outstanding. Somewhat pseudo-psychological thriller. Yeah, this is a good, take your significant other out, you know, have a glass of wine. If I was still drinking these days, I would have had a glass of wine to this movie. Or maybe, you know, a very, it could be a very high-grade vodka movie. You know, something to sip on. Something to sip on throughout the movie. Not something to knock back. Something to sip on. But yes, after the wedding. Good cinema. So therefore, see it in the theater. This one's in limited release. It's definitely at the Angelica. Know that for sure. Check IMDb or Fandango for your local showtimes. Check out After the Wedding, y'all. You will not be disappointed. Not very many people in the audience last night. Not as many people as I saw coming out of the previous showing. But everybody coming out of the previous showing seemed to have a good shook look on their face. And as did I'm sure, after coming out the late showing of this last night. So I'm sure you will as well. After the Wedding, go check it out where you can find it playing. And last, but most certainly not least on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, now we get back down to the Balki. It's not Peter Frigette, peanut butter and jelly. He's named after bird. Sometimes you just feel an L and you need to spit some different words. Anywho, last but most certainly not least, on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, I bring to you our review for your boy, I don't know if it was ours or not, maybe yours too, but your boy, the Real Rush's most anticipated new release of this weekend out of all of this weekend's new releases, but especially this one. Your boy's been looking forward to this one for a long time. I'm talking about the Peanut Butter Falcon. Starring Shia LaBeouf, Dakota Johnson, Bruce Dern's up in it, John Hawkes is in it, and newcomer Zach Gottsagen. Now this follows a man, in reality, played by Zach Gottsagen, with Down syndrome. He's about 22 years old, and he lives in a nursing home because he has no family to take care of him, and the state seems no other place for him to be, no other fit place for him to be taken care of other than that than an elderly nursing home. And he's looked after by Dakota Johnson. Well, he escapes from the nursing home. After, he wants to chase his dreams. Like he feels like he's competent enough to make his way in the world, and he wants to make it down to a wrestling school to be like his wrestling, his all over wrestling, you know, just his dream wrestler of all time, the one he's the biggest fan of, the Saltwater Redneck, Thomas Hayden Church, y'all, the man. So he runs away, try to get to that wrestling school, and along the way he comes along Tyler, played by Shia LaBeouf, excuse me. I don't want to get my ass kicked by that dude. But I'll be on your side, dude. Death. Your back, you had mine, right? Alright. So, Tyler, he's like, you know, a little bit on the run, a little bit of outlaw on the run, down in the North Carolina Cackalack area. Zach's like, can I tag along with you? Tyler agrees, he's like, I'll get you to the wrestling school, but that's it. And the two form a bond along the way, all while being chased by not only Dakota Johnson, who needs to find Zach, you know, get him back to a safe environment, but by some people that Tyler has pissed off along the way. And it is a damn fine movie. I can safely say that this one already makes the top 11 list of the second half of 2K19. Easily. Just brilliant film. Makes you laugh. Makes you cry. There's even a couple, since we are dealing with wrestling as a topic, there's even a couple of cameos up in there. I won't say directly who, but I'll tell you this much. One dealt with a snake and the other one dealt with a sock. So boom. Other than that, this movie, the performances, the acting in this is so good. The directing, great. The screenplay is awesome. Just a great movie. This is the Peanut Butter Falcon, our pick for the Rush pick of the weekend, y'all, of episode 46. Once again, this would hands down make the top 11 2K19 list if I were to make that shit of the second half of this season, if I were to make that shit right now. Great movie. And I wish that this was in wide release, because this is a movie that should be in wide release. So the only way that a movie like this is going to make it to wide release is if you gotta fill these theaters, y'all. You gotta fill what theaters are playing this movie. Check out the trailer online. You're on YouTube. Don't check it out right now. Wait till after this episode to do so. Or open up a new tab or something if you can, you know, multitask, watch videos like that. Some people can do that shit. But yeah, this is just like After the Wedding. This is cinema at its finest. And I don't even want to just bound this to just the second half top 11 list of 2K19. This is one of the best films of the year. One of the best films for the year. And I would put it probably in the top 11 of 2K19. All over as of right now, if I had to boot something from it. So yeah, the Peanut Butter Falcon. Check it out. Bring Kleenex. It's so good. The theater last night at the Angelica was sold out. Sold out. Even the front 4 rows where they don't have headrests and people don't like to sit in those rows because of that very reason. And that's the only thing that I would change about the Angelica if I owned that bitch. But even some of those seats were like, you could see heads there. It's like, wow. that means something. So yeah, I'm not sure where else this movie's playing, but wherever you can find it, IMDb, Fandango, whatever your method is of finding movie showtimes, find the Peanut Butter Falcon and go see it right now. Boom. You cannot say there's nothing good playing in any movie theaters. You're not looking, and I hate to say it this way, I don't mean to be condescending. I really don't mean to be, but you broaden your horizons. You must broaden your horizons if you want to know where these absolutely phenomenal, brilliantly pieces of work, film work, are. So boom, get your asses in those seats, y'all. And the more people see it, more demand. The wider release it'll get, the wider release it gets, higher on the radar it'll become, and the higher on the radar it become. That way, if it does get accoladed for something in the end of the year, you can't say you haven't heard of it. Boom. Peanut Butter Falcon. Check it out immediately. Not now. Immediately. Boom. Need a sip of water before we wrap this one up here. Yeah, Park. I'm drinking it. They paying for it. Freakily. And that, my friends, does wrap it up. Episode 46 of The Real Rush, right here on YouTube. Before we do part ways here before next weekend, a few things. Once again, this past Friday's Bandits pay-per-view. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a pay-per-view because the only way you can see it is if you come pay to view the shit. One of the best shows that we've ever done, in my personal opinion. We've never done a bad show as long as I've been there. Not saying that I'm good like Sean, but even the one that I saw that I wasn't a part of, awesome. Stagecoach is always rocking the house. The next one coming up, September 20th. That's the third Friday of next month, 7:30. Bring your ass out, have some laughs. Promo code John. Get your tickets online. Get them early before they sell out, because you don't want to be left out like the last couple shows. So yes, promo code John. Get your discount. $12 online, $15 at the door if there are still tickables available by that point. Where do you go to get your tickets online? You can go to get your tickets online at stagecoachtc.com/stagecoach-bandits. Once again, that is Stagecoach, T as in Thomas, C as in Coleman.com. C as in classy. There you go. Stagecoach. Stagecoach. T as in Thomas. C as in classy.com/stagecoach-bandits. Bandits. Yeah, I got a bit of a list going on in this episode. I'm surprised that, I'm going as hard as I am right now in this episode, but bear with me, y'all. So yeah, that's going on. And next week, episode 47, what we're going to have a review for y'all next week. It's actually looking like an easy weekend. Knock on this wood here. Let's hopefully it stays that way, because your boy needs an easy weekend. There's only 3 movies that look like they're going to be on the Real Rush ticket for next weekend. After the last 2 weeks. Think about it. Between this episode and last week's episodes, that's 16 movies. I don't even remember how many movies I saw in episode 44 and previous. Like, all that shit is gone from the internal. It's in external hard drive mode right now, and I don't have it plugged in. But yeah, between the last 2 episodes, including the one that you're watching right now, that's 16 movies. Next week, 3 movies on the Real Rush ticket, and they gonna be, we got, oh, excuse me, I thought I saw 4 there. So we're gonna do a maybe here. Let me write this one so I don't forget to put the motherfucking picture up. We got Ready or Not, or we're gonna have Ready or Not, Angel Has Fallen, Aquarella. I hope I can try to find this in like a Dolby Cinema or some shit like that. And Overcomer. Some more inspirational stuff for you. Yeah. Other than that, until then, as always, if you ever have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, and shit like that, please feel free. Go ahead and type those onto this YouTube page where you are viewing this week's episode right here. For everybody who has subscribed to The Real Rush thus far on YouTube, thank you for doing so. And if you haven't done so thus far, what you're waiting for, you want to be the first to know when your boy drops a new episode. And don't just subscribe, don't just watch, please. I do ask of you, spread the word of The Real Rush. Like everybody should be spreading love these days, ladies and gents. That means tell your peoples about your boy. And don't forget that the Real Rush does have, try saying this shit 5 times fast. That the Real Rush does have replay value. Real Rush replay value, Real Rush replay value, Real Rush replay, 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 Real Rush replay. I know, right? All you got to do is in the search bar up on YouTube, in quotation marks, type The Real Rush, then outside of the quotation marks, put any movie that has come out since late last September, and boom, that episode that comes up, that's the episode that's got that review in it. So bam, endless. So everybody who's been waiting for movies to come out on streaming, The Real Rush still has you covered. Booyah. But as always, you can follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur, and that is at JDubChampion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, ladies and gents, I am your boy J-Dub. Thank you once again for watching episode 46 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Remember, when you're at the movies, just chill out, y'all. Ain't no need to be doing all the yapping and looking at the phone and looking at smartwatches and all that, you know. Put all that, shut all that, put all that on sleep and keep all that on lock, because any conversations and even the time, I guarantee, will be waiting for you after the movie is all said and done. Enjoy yourselves when you're at the movies, y'all. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. And we'll see you next weekend. Peace out.